Gentlemen, any final thoughts before we close? No?
So I think what we're thinking is that companies need to have, or if they have a sense of longer-term sustainable contribution, if that's what they want, right? And that comes back to a sense of purpose. Then it's going to be in their interest to think of this holistically. And it's when we start to piecemeal it out that organizations start to get into trouble. And there's always going to be imbalance that occurs over time. And our role as we step back and look at it and as we observe and grasp the situation is to see those imbalances and be able to provide those inputs in terms of observations to help course correct. But what we've learned is that an organization that does want to embrace lean thinking, it involves a series of steps in multiple dimensions. And specifically, we've been talking recently in identifying 5 very specific dimensions that need to be explored, need to be addressed. The first, it always begins with purpose. And it's amazing how quickly purpose just disappears from the dialogue. Whether it's something happening at the board level or happening on the front lines in the factory, purpose just immediately disappears when we focus on what's in front of us. But if we don't start there, then we will be making skewed decisions such as we were just discussing about where to locate things. Yeah. What problem and purpose, usually we turn that into the simple question, what problem are we trying to solve? As a company, as an NGO providing a contribution to society or making a certain product, or if we're a startup or whatever, what problem are we trying to solve? From there, there's a lot, the next question is, what do we need to do? What needs to be done to solve that problem, to provide that purpose? So the next question then therefore is, how can we go about doing process improvement? And there's where lean often gets confused with other process improvement methodologies, whereas actually we're looking at holistically what the purpose of the business is. We have a purpose, we have things that need to be done, secondly. Then you can ask what capabilities are required to be able to work in these new ways. Next, you can start to ask what leadership is required to enable people to gain those capabilities to do the work that needs to be done to achieve the purpose. So often we go straight from purpose to very, very high abstract discussions of leadership, but that actually can't come next. Once we've decided what the purpose is, the next thing is what needs to be done. Then, do we know how to do it? Then we can think, therefore, what kind of leadership management system do we need? Will command and control still work? Well, as it turns out, if you want longer-term sustainable organizations, probably not. But that's a logical conclusion at what you can reach after going through these steps of logical analysis. Then we can ask, what are our basic assumptions, the mindset that we have that underlies our belief of the purpose of the firm in society? What's our underlying beliefs about how things work, and therefore this is going to inform the organization that we build. And that's going to be true if it's a startup, if it's a company that's been around for 100 years and is very large, if we're an NGO, if we're looking at healthcare or government, those same sets of considerations are always going to be there. But it means we need to analyze and understand ourselves holistically. Otherwise, we're always going to have that imbalance, and we're always going to have these imbalances that occur that are going to require course correction.
Okay, thank you very much, John, Dan, Jim. Thank you for your time and for giving us a lot to think about.
Thanks, Chet.